A very good evening and a warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this first day of May 2025. I want to say happy Labour Day. Now, before we get into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. And in our top stories tonight, Museveni pledges to address minimum wage and end casual work. Japanese government pledges to support Uganda in the management of refugees coming into the country. Creative industry demands for recognition and support from government. And in sports, URA share spoils with Villa at Nachivubo Stadium. Good evening once again. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto, and my colleague in sign language interpretation, Muhammad Mugalu. We do welcome you this evening into your space, into your living room, wherever you might be watching UBC News Tonight. We start off with our first headlining story. This evening, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has pledged to stop the issues of casual labourers, create government-supported labour centres and wake the minimum wage bill to ensure the safety and rights of workers. The President, however, encouraged Ugandans to embrace commercial and intensive farming to create more jobs for people in Uganda. Now, he made the remarks during the commemoration of International Labour Day in Karamoja Sub-Region District of Nakapiripirit. Take a look.
Thousands of workers from across the country gathered at Nakale grounds in Nakapiripirit district to commemorate the International Labour Day, a day to honour workers and celebrate their contribution to national development. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was the chief guest. He began the celebrations by inspecting a parade formed by Uganda security agencies, including the Uganda People's Defence Forces, UPDF, Uganda Police Force, and Uganda Prison Services. The smartly dressed men and women in uniform performed an impressive parade in both slow and quick time. During the event, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni pledged to address the bottlenecks affecting workers' rights, including the issue of minimum wage, the continued use of casual labour instead of contracts, and the need to establish labour centres supported by the government.
Now, yesterday, I had a discussion with the workers' people. As they told you, we are going to discuss more in June, but internally within the cabinet, we are going to take up the issues also. The issue of the minimum job, or minimum wage. The issue of the tripartite. No casual labor. We shall end casual labor. And we are going to lock up all those employment agencies which go between the people, the workers and the employer.
President Museveni highlighted the growth in job opportunities in the country, crediting the increase in factories, ICT and service sectors.
As they gave me from UBOS, there are 1.4 million workers in the factories. You check how many they were, 1986, those who were in the factories. In agriculture, there are 3.6 million. Public service are 480,000, all the public servants.
A lot of man I think Keti Yakamuka Puka Dang, a rang to a meang or one, Nalipiong a meang or one automon Kauni.
Therefore, even where we are now, the jobs in the private sector are many more than the jobs of the government.
He further encouraged Ugandans to take up commercial and intensive farming, saying it could generate employment for many more people within and beyond Uganda.
Not necessarily this, but maybe coffee, maybe other things, but intensive agriculture on on the 1 acre.
Merata marebe agiti yang akro karanguna ikwete angamuja una angitiang. Naisha giti ye teaching ole arang loka farm.
7 million out of the 40 million.
Ate marebe ngai million ngakankari yaloto manguna dege tumuni umonongun.
Would create 105 million jobs. There will be so many jobs that you shall not have enough Ugandans to do them.
The president also criticized the opposition for spreading negativity and failing to acknowledge the progress made in pacifying Karamoja, a region that was largely inaccessible a few years ago.
The pessimism spread by groups like Monitor. Monitor is IRA Monitor. Is wrong, and they are going to be ashamed.
The Labour Day celebrations were held under the theme consolidating on the gains of the parish development model for increased productivity and inclusive job creation. Report compiled by Philip Aguta for UBC News.
Now, the Japanese government has pledged to continue supporting Uganda in the management of refugees coming into the country. The Japanese Parliamentary Vice Minister, Eri Africa, made this pledge today during a meeting with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, at her office in Kampala.
Currently, the number of refugees from DRC and South Sudan is increasing daily, with over 1.8 million refugees. In 2023, Uganda hosted a refugee summit, all aimed at helping Uganda in managing the refugee crisis, but this support is not forthcoming.
The money we receive is not enough to support them even with food, because the support from other partners has dwindled over the time. Because we are told by our supporting partners that because of other wars across the globe, other countries tended to pull out. And we are told by June, those other partners will have pulled out completely.
This afternoon, the Japanese Parliamentary Vice Minister, Eri Arifia, met the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja. The two leaders discussed matters of mutual interest of the two sister nations, including refugees. Eri Arifia, on behalf of the Japanese government, pledged to support Uganda in the management of refugees.
But when you tell them about what we've done to assist refugees, for example, or what we've done to give humanitarian aid tangibly, for example, everybody, at least in my constituency, is supportive of it. Even when our own economy might be of concern, even if their own lives might be of concern, Japanese people are always on the side of humanitarian affairs and peace and stability. These are things that I know I have complete support of in my constituency. And I think we know as government that we have support of the people. And in that regard, what you've done in this region to support refugee communities is selfless and admirable. And anything we can do to continue supporting you in achieving peace and stability, we're here for.
The Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, thanked the Japanese government for the continued support Japan is giving Uganda.
Diplomatic ties have flourished, and Japan's presence in Uganda has been marked by meaningful engagements that benefit both our people in our two sister countries. Because this is evidenced by the following outcomes. One, we got a grant extended by Japan for the region of Karamoja, and this includes the provision of fertilizers.
The Japanese minister, who was accompanied by the Japanese ambassador to Uganda, Takuya Sasayama, and other Japanese officials, hailed Uganda for her efforts in fostering peace in Africa.
Japan appreciates your country's contribution to peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, which is indispensable to realize free and open Indo-Pacific, an important pillar for us. We consider Uganda as an important partner in this regard. Cooperation with Uganda is becoming more important than ever for the peace and stability of the international community.
The Japanese government recently increased its support to Uganda to a tune of $6.8 million, and a number of development projects have been done, including the construction of Jinja Bridge, Kampala Clock Tower flyover, and currently a new Karuma Bridge is being constructed by the Japanese, among many other projects. The meeting was also attended by the Minister in charge of Science, Technology and Innovations, Monica Musenero.
We have had a very warm collaboration with Japan in terms of science, technology and innovation. We worked with Japan to train our first set of space engineers and to launch our first satellite.
So you'll meet him when you're in Japan, but he's here to personally invite you.
We grow a lot of coffee.
I love coffee.
Here is coffee.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Here is tea. We also.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, now on to a region that is close to my heart. Kasese district is marking a major milestone of 50 years since it was carved out of the greater Toro district. Now celebrations have been held across the region to commemorate the Golden Jubilee, highlighting the district's achievements and future aspirations. Now our reporter has the details from Kasese.
Kasese district has celebrated its Golden Jubilee, marking 50 years since it was carved out of Toro district. The celebrations kicked off with a procession through Kasese municipality, drawing residents, leaders and cultural institutions together in unity. Over the past 5 years, the district has made progress in infrastructure and social services. Kasese district boasts over 100 health centers, 264 primary schools and 40 secondary schools.
And 320 private primary schools. We did not have even a single secondary school, but we are proud of over 40 secondary schools, both private and government aided. All these are just things to really show cause why we should celebrate.
In those days there was no education that you can talk about. Education has come in systematically, slowly, steadily after independence, and especially after 1974.
As part of the festivities, an exhibition was held to showcase Kasese's cultural heritage, natural beauty, and historical milestones. The Minister of State for Trade, General Wilson Mbasu Mbadi, commended the district for its achievements and reaffirmed government support for continued growth.
Government will continue to ensure maintenance of peace and security and the construction of the necessary infrastructure as a way of facilitating and attracting local and foreign investments to create jobs and incomes for Ugandans.
To try to combat unemployment, we need to ensure that our industrial park, that is the Kasese Business Industrial Park, which is run by Uganda Investment Authority, that those who are given the pieces of land, please, should come up and construct the light industries, and we get some people employed there.
The economic advantages that the NRM has created must be translated into jobs and wealth for households.
The Obusinga Bwarenzururu used the occasion to call on the government of Uganda to grant Kasese municipality city status.
Upgrading Mbonderu, Viriha and Hima town castles
to municipality status. 3, government putting more attention to exploiting the tourism potential of Kasese district and Rwenzori region in general, including expediting the process of upgrading Kasese airfield to an international airport. It is in the best interest of everybody that Uganda continues to accelerate towards modern development and political stability.
Meanwhile, residents voiced concerns about the impact of climate change on the district.
For example, we know that it has affected the health facilities like Lemman's Hospital, and this affects access. And you can imagine the pregnant mothers that in the wards for deliveries, how they're impacted.
Thank you so much for that report. Now, in more news this evening, learning to forgive has been the dominant message during the funeral prayers for the fallen Assistant Commissioner of Police, Sam Omala. Omala, who died of cancer, was honored at All Saints Cathedral in Nakasero, where family, friends and former workmates gathered to pay respect to the fallen officer. Sam Omala's former immediate boss, Captain Mike Mukula, expressed concern over government officials shunning the funeral service and activities linked to the burial of the deceased.
Time check, 10 a.m. at All Saints Cathedral in Nakasero. The waiting mourners are treated to the official ushering in of the casket containing the remains of fallen police officer Sam Omala. The former Assistant Commissioner of Police died of prostate cancer, which she had battled since 2018. The devastating cancer did not spare Omala's wealth acquired while in police service.
Muzeeyi twatukoze enteekateeka okumutwala e India ye gy'ataamanyako naye yansaba agendeko e Mombasa eyo ng'alina ebyali bimututteyo. Ne mugamba muzeeyi oli mulwadde tosobola kugenda Mombasa. Wakyanga ekirwadde kikukwatiddeyo ng'oli bwomu. Naye muzeeyi yampa ensonga ze mu kaseera ako ne saagala kumukaanya kubanga yali muzeeyi wange. Nagezaako n'okuexcalatinga. Ebyembi nga bwe twali tusuubira era muzeeyi yakola pusingira e Mombasa okuva ku olwo teyadda ngulu.
Famous for bravely ending the walk-to-work protests in 2011, spearheaded by the then opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, Omala's actions have been defended.
Whoever muzeeyi wronged, musaasire muzeeyi yali akola mulimu gwe.
Walk-to-work was meant to overthrow the government of Uganda, but what you call resurrection. To get people to march into town and occupy all government offices, including State House, Parliament, and all what you might have seen in Kenya of the Gen Zs, or what you saw in Tunisia as the Arab Spring. Commander Omala stopped that.
Part of Omala's legacy was dedicated service, which the late AIGP Andrew Felix Kawesi spotted, making him the Kampala Field Force Unit Police Commander.
Mubimpimpi 2012, Sam Nange, among others, we got accelerated promotion. Accelerated. You double from ASP to SSP. We missed the promotion of 2014, the centenary. Come 2016, I don't want to say this, but I will say it. The former Inspector General of Police looked for my name and Sam. Say, you must bring them here. And we were promoted 2016.
This, among other contributions, is what government and police officers should not have forgotten easily. NRM National Vice Chairperson for Eastern Uganda, Captain Mike Mukula, is Omala's immediate former boss at Arrow Security. As the chief mourner, he is concerned about this.
Ugandans tend to forget quickly, memory lapse.
UBC News tonight. Now, as Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate International Labour Day, attention is turning to the safety and welfare of workers, particularly in high-risk sectors like industry. In Mbale, the Sino-Uganda Industrial Park stands out as an example of growing employment and commitment to worker safety. We have the details.
It is a sector that has seen political rivals speak with the same voice for the sake of Uganda's economic progress.
One thing is that we are going to stop importing and begin buying our local manufactured products.
We're going to have people branding, marketing, all these are different departments and components.
Land has been availed and grounds have been broken for establishment of factories. From the establishment of modern industrial parks to the rise of agro-processing plants, the nation is steadily moving towards becoming a manufacturing powerhouse in East Africa. Central to this transformation is the government's commitment to creating an investor-friendly environment. This has been spearheaded by the Ministry of Finance's Investment and Privatization arm.
First, the President said we should build an integrated and self-sustaining economy because we came in and we found only 86 factories. Today, we're talking about 6,000 factories. And now, this is not a mean feat to celebrate. It is such a huge benefit for us as a country because then we are seeing so many jobs created.
One such industrial park is found in Mbale in eastern Uganda. It is one place where factories have been set up, consequently creating jobs and changing lives.
Because in every of our 18 zones, we have now acquired land for industrialization. And I'm very grateful to President Museveni that we are now investing money to ensure that the infrastructure in those industrial parks are done.
To make this possible has been the ability of government to secure over 15,000 acres of land for industrial parks. The aim has been to double the manufacturing sector's contribution to Uganda's GDP by 2030.
Industrialization and manufacturing alone has contributed 26% to the growth of the economy's GDP. That is something that we have to celebrate. And this has come as a result of the policies that we put in place.
The minister emphasizes the importance of consuming locally produced goods to bolster domestic industries and reduce unemployment.
Now we're able to assemble cars. We never used to assemble mobile phones, and I'm talking about assembling because we never used to do them. Now we want to move to the second stage of from assembling, can we go into manufacturing? Yes, for some other of our products, we have gone into manufacturing because we do vertical integration.
This has transformed Uganda from being a supermarket and importer of foreign products. The country is now a producer, marketeer and exporter of locally produced goods. To Minister Anite, the sky is just the beginning.
We used to import cement. Now we are having over 5 cement factories in this country. We used to import tiles. Today we're talking about 2 tiles manufacturing companies in this country, Goodwill and Modern Tiles. These were things that we never ever dreamt as a country that we'll be having them being manufactured in our country.
But as the world observes International Labour Day, what has made the entire investment and industrialization environment conducive? The answer is peace.
Industrialization cannot happen in the absence of peace. One key thing that President Museveni has done for us is to ensure that Uganda is peaceful from Koboko to Kisoro, from Kisoro to Kotido, end to end.
With strategic policies, international partnerships and a focus on sustainable development. Uganda's industrialization journey is poised for continued success, promising a brighter economic future for citizens. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now that's the State Minister for Invest and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, of course, talking about Uganda's industrialization journey, where Uganda has been undergoing transformative industrial journey, going through this journey since 1986, something that has changed the country's economic landscape. Now, jobs have been created, revenue generated, and also development realized, all thanks to the establishment of industrial parks across the country. Now, as Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate International Labour Day, the attention is turning to the safety and welfare of workers, particularly in high-risk sectors like industry. Now in Mbale, the Sino-Uganda Industrial Park stands out as an example of growing employment and commitment to workers' safety. We have more.
Located in Mbale district, Sino-Uganda Mbale Industrial Park homes over 60 factories and provides employment to more than 10,000 Ugandans, ranging from skilled engineers to casual laborers. With Uganda's industrial sector now employing approximately 2 million people, the park is not only a key contributor to economic growth, but also a symbol of the country's ongoing efforts to fight unemployment through industrialization. But beyond numbers and output, our focus is on the safety of the men and women working inside these factories.
Here at Tenau, we actually prioritize our workers' safety first, and every month we do actually give them training according to their workspace. We do actually also give fire drills every month to all the workers. We provide them with some masks for those that are working in the wood department. We also provide them with some gloves and some helmets and some uniforms as well.
In an environment where risks such as machinery accidents, electrical faults and fires are ever present, workers here say their safety is taken seriously.
Every morning we have a toolbox where we talk to our workers, even to the new workers that we have, about the safety. We are dealing with machines that are always cutting, that are always pushing and packing.
On Saturdays in every week, we have general meetings with our Chinese bosses. So after us, the black leaders hearing the complaints from the employees, we forward them to our big bosses. They also handle them, so they get a solution for the problems.
Before starting to operate a crane, you have to check on the crane whether the crane is on the what, on the work. Actually, its working condition is okay.
The park management has also established a dedicated department for occupational health, safety and environment, which is tasked with ensuring compliance with safety policies and safeguarding workers' rights.
According to Occupational Health and Safety Act 2006, it should be the responsibility of the employer to respect, to put health, safety and well-being measures for all the workers in the workplace. So what we always do, we always sit with the management. In a case where we find some workers are not being considered for their safety, we always sit with the management, we advise them, we tell them what is supposed to be done.
Employees appreciate the efforts, describing the working environment as disciplined and proactive. They say the training and equipment provided have made them feel safer and more confident on the job.
We have a very professional HSE team, and every morning they move to various factories and what they call toolbox meetings or trainings. They come to various factories and tell them of the do's and don'ts while at work. Yeah? For example, put on the PPEs. For example, if they are, follow the signages that are the workplace.
As Uganda marks Labour Day with the purpose of improving working conditions for increased productivity, the safety practices at Sino Uganda-Mbale Industrial Park offer a glimpse of progress in worker protection and industrial management.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Special announcement from the...
Welcome back from that break. We're glad you're still with us here on UBC News Tonight. Now in more news this evening, the newly elected Bishop of the National Fellowship of Born-Again Pentecostal Churches, Chigezi Region, Onesimus Byengoma Ngoboka, has urged Ugandans to embrace value addition in all their efforts to improve livelihoods and compete on the international market.
The rest of the world in commemorating International Labour Day, and the main event was held in Nakapereperit. In the same spirit, Bishop Onesimus Byengoma Ngoboka of the National Fellowship of Born-Again Pentecostal Churches in the Chigezi region commended Ugandans for their commitment to daily work, recognizing the effort it takes to put food on the table.
We know Uganda has come this far because of your hard efforts. Today we want to celebrate you and tell you congratulations. Whether you are carrying matoke or you are carrying down there on the site cement, in our language we would say oratoba, orabonabonere kayawe.
He further encouraged Ugandans to adopt value addition in their work, echoing President Yoweri Museveni's consistent message on building a self-sustaining economy that is competitive at the global level.
So that once we add value, we are not just working to feed or just to eat and stop at the stomach, but we are thinking deeper and strategically say, how do we bring our products to the world market beyond Uganda? I am happy now of the East African community that has expanded. We must, as Ugandans, be relevant.
Speaking at the press conference, Bishop Onesmus extended an invitation to all Ugandans, regardless of religious affiliation, to attend his consecration ceremony set for May 16, 2025.
It is a historic event that is bringing us together, not only for the consecration prayers, but also as a formidable force in Kigezi, that we are rising up, putting our house in order.
The event is also intended to serve as a platform for raising awareness about key government development initiatives such as PDM, Emyoga, GROW and others.
Community mobilization, transformation, that we can have these as a platforms for sensitizing people for change and a better change. As we have been talking about work ethic on this day, that how every Christian must be engaged to embrace PDM, to embrace value addition, to work hard at every level.
Dr. Elisa Lutahigwa, Member of Parliament for Lukungiri Municipality and Chairperson of the Organizing Committee, provided further insights into the preparations for the event.
Kandi teka kozesa esente ezitali hasi ya milioni ya magana 2 konka nitwenda kutera umuranga ngu enkunzi yeitu abantu mwena mwije mutukwatireho tubase kubona sente zo kuranga umukuru ogu gwaba ogwestindisa okureba ngu president weitu wihanga president Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ni wari kwija kutuberaho ko mugenyi mukuru kwija kutayayira rukunjira mbwe.
Rebecca Natongo, UBC News.
Balancing marriage and career remains a persistent challenge for many women, often leading to personal and relational strain. Praised for their intuition and resilience, women are increasingly recognized for skillfully managing these dual demands. Now, this theme was central to the launch of Abigail, a book inspired by the biblical heroine who wisely averted disaster in her home, offering timeless lessons in grace, strategy, and strength.
Despite the government's recent advocacy for gender equality, women continue to grapple with the enduring challenge of balancing career and family life.
Marriages are breaking because women.
Sarah Bunjo, once entering marriage without self-awareness or experience, overcame her struggles through her husband's mentorship. Now, she shares a journey of growth and triumph with women everywhere in her book, Abigail.
Growing into Abigail, a trainer's manual, all the matter in this book talks about a balanced, wholesome woman. If you read it, you're going to get some of the things which you have missed out when you are growing or which you have been missing out telling to your children.
No, Edith Nakalema, who defied social norms by joining the army, a path rarely taken by women, describes it challenging yet purposeful calling. She now offers guidance to women on balancing marriage and career with resilience and clarity.
Christian women, those who have decided to work hard and serve God in our areas of responsibility, our first and foremost calling begins with our families. Where you're born, you must be a blessing. Once you're married, you must be a blessing first to your husband, to your children, and everyone you live with in the home, because it is family that makes a nation. Men are supposed to be obeyed, but before women obey men, men are supposed to love. Love never fails.
In women's quest to balance work and career, men play a pivotal role. As Bunjo demonstrated, he saw beyond his wife's limitations, guiding her to become a purposeful woman despite her circumstances at the time.
Marriage is all about coexistence, number 2, but also forbearing one another. And at the end of the day, there's no perfect person. The secret is that any difference that you have between the two is your strength. Your differences is always our strength.
I'm called King of Radio. I work with Spirit TV and Spirit FM as a general manager and as a morning host as well. So please clap for me.
I'm Bantu Machawe Semambo and Joel Vobia for UBC News.
You told me that I have sharpened you. Go and
Now, the head of Crime Intelligence, Brigadier General Christopher Damulida, and officials from State House have launched an inspection of the President's Ghetto Structure Scheme. The scheme, which injected 1.2 billion shillings to uplift ghetto youth from poverty through circles, aims to empower young people. The inspection began in Natete, where they visited over 8 cooperatives to assess how the youth have utilized the funds.
Last August, President Museveni handed over 1.2 billion to youth leaders from ghetto areas to invest in cooperatives. The Director of Crime Intelligence, Brigadier General Christopher Damulida, together with officials from State House, have started inspecting the Ghetto Youth Circle to ascertain whether they utilized the funds effectively.
So our mission today has been to move around, check on those that have benefited from the program, confirm the activities that they are doing, and see whether those activities have an impact on their lives.
Through the funds, youth have started various projects, including poultry farming, entertainment venues, studios and bakeries. They expressed gratitude to President Museveni and requested increased funding for further development.
We are getting a loan at a low interest rate of 5%, which is so good for our business. General, we are requesting for an increment on the amount of loan we receive from SACCOs. The number of ghetto youth have increased in SACCOs, hence more funds needed.
Brigadier General Christopher Damulida thanked the youth for effectively using the funds and promised to submit their request for increased funding to the President.
The observation is correct. Indeed, when we got that money through the circles, the 100 million, we knew that that money is supposed to help so many people because the ghetto youth are just so many. So we realized that we needed to give at least 500,000 per ghetto youth member, so that that money can be used at least to begin some bit of activity. But now, along the way, as you have heard from the members themselves, they have realized that that money is not enough, and we also realized that that money is not enough.
He emphasized that the program's purpose is to provide jobs and combat crime.
Most of them were involved in criminal activities for survival because they had nothing to do. So they needed to cut out some crime in order to survive. But along the way, since they got an alternative, they got money from the government, which they have used to create a number of activities. There is now no reason why they should get involved in criminal activities.
Ahead of the upcoming elections, Damulida cautioned the youth against politicians who might exploit them for unlawful activities. I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Moyingo.
Uganda's State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balaam Barugahara, has hailed education institutions for instilling the art of democracy into kids at an early age. We have the details.
Dr. Balaam Barugahara was officiating the swearing-in ceremony of 2025 people leaders at Kampala Parent School. He hailed the institution, but importantly parents that entrust their children such tasks which will impact on their future.
But I want you also to be leaders of tomorrow.
The school administration prides in the national resistance movement for its privatization policy and the peace that enables social, economic and political progress.
Really, the environment which is around is so conducive. The peace in the country, the freedom of people starting schools on their own, privatization, that is something very, very good. Kampala Parent School is a private school, and we have been able to perform the way we are performing. We have been able to achieve what we have achieved because of that freedom.
Since inception in 1975, Kampala Parent School has honed the education future of many, including members of the first family who benefited holistic education.
Now, for years, border riding was seen as a man's job, but this Labour Day group of determined women is challenging that narrative and winning. For years, riding a border was seen as a man's job. but as a group of women who are determined to make sure that they win, they were tired of waiting for financial support or struggling alone as single mothers. Now, these women grabbed the handlebars literally and found independence through their motorcycle taxi work. Today, many ride more often than their male counterparts, and they've formed the Twezimbe Women Boda Boda Riders Association, a bold sisterhood supporting each other and inspiring more women to ride. To celebrate Labour Day, they organized a community concert and a blood donation drive, sending a powerful message: women can work, lead, and give back. The celebration was filled with music, motivation, and a mission to prove that financial independence isn't just for men. Riding a boda boda is no longer just a job. It's a symbol of freedom for these women who chose not to wait any longer. The family of a 2-year-old boy in Luero accused Project Orphanage Uganda, a non-government organization, of deliberately holding up their son at the orphanage facility, yet they only took him for treatment. However, Project Orphanage Uganda refutes the accusations, saying they have the child legally and will hand over the child to the family until the anticipated time of his health improvement of 6 months reaches.
Project Orphanage Uganda, based in Izirobwe Luwelo district, is an organization that was established in 2011 to rescue vulnerable children and help those whose rights have been violated.
Care of the vulnerable children, but we don't only take care of the children, we also take care of the elderly camps. Basically, our main target are the children, and in the children we have a package that is called Education for the Nation.
Despite the immense support to children and families, there is a family of a 2-year-old boy accusing the organization of holding up that child, yet they only took him for treatment.
Bampisa mu mbeera etaali nnungi nga bangamba baleete poliisi nze banteeke munda bo balabirire omwana.
The mother of the then malnourished child, whose names are withheld, Ewan Kulthum Namyalo, and the grannies willingly took the child to Project Orphanage Uganda. However, they allege the child later didn't receive the adequate support from the organization.
Nengamba dokita, nemuga dokita, bampe ebbaluwa ensiibula wano.
Nga tutuuse okwemulugunya kwaffe olw'eddwaliro ery'Okatimba Nampunge okutuwambako muzzukulu wange.
Looking at the condition the child was in, needed long-term stay in the hospital. But then I think the mother had somewhere else where she wanted to go.
According to Project Orphanage Uganda, they seek for legal terms to all the children under their custody, but wondered why the boy's family would turn against them.
We notified the probation officer who is in charge of children to do what? About the baby. One time she also came by to check on the baby. So the baby had to stay to receive medication.
It's gotten to our understanding that the mother is on the run, as the grandmother had earlier on been arrested by Luwero police over neglect.
Omuwala n'avaayo ffe twali omwana awalala kakati nali ndi awo nga bazze bakoze ki bazze ne bankwata ne bansiba.
Wakati mu kumugjayo omwana bamubanga abamubyeyo bubbi. Kati wakati mu kutekinga up interest balabe ensonga ki yabagisizayo omwana maama omwana yabula. Even up to now maama omwana takola ki talabika. Kabeere taata we talabika. Kati olowooza nti yali badani omutuufu okumuwanga ne maama omwana yeekwese talabika.
Amwaiva Njuko for UBC.
Luwero Deputy RDC Seifu Katabazi has urged Ugandans to love their country and neighbours, stressing that patriotism is very vital for national unity and development. Katabazi made these remarks at the pass-out ceremony of 400 patriotic cadets from Luwero Secondary School who completed a one-week training in patriotism ideals.
Deputy RDC Seifu Katabazi says if all Ugandans were patriotic, hence loving their country and their neighbors as they love themselves, vices like corruption, defilement, rape and drug abuse would not be thriving.
So I feel good when ndabanga muli mukuyimirira ku musingi ogwa president ogw'okwagala Uganda yammwe, to love the country, to love your neighbor and to support what the dream of the father of Uganda, His Excellency Kaguta Museveni. Who's the father of Uganda here?
Lieutenant David Kakoza from the National Patriotism Corps said patriotism is key to nurturing responsible youth to lead and protect the nation.
We are telling them, no, it is you. If there is a problem, you come up, make it better. Not you to go somewhere else because your country is bad. And I did talk to them that your country can't be bad unless you don't know what to do.
He also encouraged school administrators who haven't yet implemented the National Patriotism Corps training programs to coordinate with their respective district NPC coordinators.
And the parades, including lessons for love of their country, history of Uganda, the geography of Uganda, the ideology of the country.
Luwero SS Deputy Headmaster Dumba Moses said patriotism training is vital as a nation's strength depends on the character of its youth.
It is very clear that the values of loving our country, the values of civic responsibility have been shared among these learners.
So when we are doing whatever we are doing, we have to be conscious not to break any kind of law. And another thing I've learned that I need to love myself and my country.
We learned love of our country, and that's patriotism. And we have also learned army skills that in case of any danger, we can fight for ourselves.
This year's Luwero SS Patriotism training attracted 250 girls and 150 boys on the theme Patriotism Through Service Beyond Self for a Prosperous Uganda.
Tukwaniriza waka eri ebisanyusa. Eri Wi-Fi buli wamu. Eri speedi za internet eza waggulu. Eri obukuumi. Eri obuyambi obuli mu ddaala erisooka. Eri okwanguyirizibwa. Tukwaniriza waka eri MTN Wakanet, internet ensukulumu eri wimaka. Kyalira www.mtn.co.ug/wakanet. Tukwaniriza waka nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.
Okero. Hey, Kajambo. Mukasa. Where are you going with the family? Mugina kudikidamu? Oh no. Hey. We are on our way to the polling station. The Electoral Commission is displaying the National Voters Register. And I need to make sure my name is on it. Oh. And Sophie here wants to confirm her voter details. We are all warming up for elections together. What about these young men? I can see you. These ones are no longer boys. They are now men. Last election, they were too young to vote. But now, they are ready to vote. Mukasa, you have really inspired me. Now let me also go home and pick my wife. so that we can check the details in the register. Okay. See you on the polling station.
The National Voters Register will be displayed at your polling station from 25th April to 15th May 2025. Please do not miss this chance to confirm your polling station and your voter details. Report the dead for removal from the register and those who appear more than once. Every vote matters. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Special announcement from the Baseline Education Census 2025. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, is conducting the Baseline Education Census 2025. This exercise will cover all learning institutions in the country for both government and private establishments, namely pre-primary, primary, secondary, vocational, and higher institutions of learning. The Baseline Education Census exercise data collection is being conducted in a phased manner, starting with Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, comprising of districts of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso. The rollout to all other regions will commence at the beginning of second term. The Baseline Education Census collects information on learners, teachers, and school facilities to facilitate planning and policy decisions in the education sector. Uganda Bureau of Statistics appeals to the general public, heads of schools and institutions, as well as the local government authorities to cooperate with the BEC enumerators. In a special way, UBOS appeals to all parents of the learners to support the exercise by availing learners with their correct date of birth, national identification number, and learner's identification number. For more information, please call 0772 933 628 or 0743 787 189 from Dr. Chris Mukiza, Executive Director.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Life in Uganda today comes with so many uncertainties.
Where will Madam get Kameza if I get an accident and can't work?
If anything happens to me, what will Junior eat?
Yeah, Kale Musa is still in the hospital. Guy is missing a lot of money here.
With a monthly payment of only 3,000 shillings off your Equity personal account for Equi-Life Insurance, you will be entitled to 50,000 shillings hospital cash per night spent in a registered facility, up to 20 nights every year. And your family will receive 3 million shillings in case of your death. Visit your nearest Equity agent to sign up today or call 0312 327 000 for assistance.
Welcome back from that break, and now into the world of business. Sector players in Uganda's creative industries say they are laboring in vain and are now demanding recognition and support from government to bolster their contribution to national development. Now, while government attention remains focused on the so-called ATM sectors, the agro-industrialization, tourism, mining and ICT, players in the creative space feel neglected and undervalued, despite the industry being a low-hanging fruit with immense potential to generate revenue and drive both social and economic transformation.
Uganda's creative industry is rich with untapped potential, an avenue capable of transforming the economy and create employment for thousands, if not millions, of talented youth. The creative industry encompasses sectors of the economy that involve the generation, production, and distribution of goods and services that rely on creativity, talent, and intellectual property. Rachel Magola, an artist and the chairperson of the Uganda Parliamentary Forum for Creative Industries, says the country has witnessed firsthand the power of creativity to drive economic growth. However, the industry continues to struggle for recognition and the much-needed support from policymakers to enable sector players to thrive.
When you're scattered in different ministries, you're going to find that the creative economy is the unfunded priority in all the ministries because it is not a core function. So agriculture will not take care of the creative economy. Trade will not, because that's not their core function.
Analysts from the public and private sector, along with the development partners, agree that strengthening Uganda's creative landscape will require coordinated and sustained efforts.
The creative economy has the opportunity to leapfrog and support a growth generation, and that's the business that we want to support. Young people thriving and earning income at scale and being supported, and that's where the link to government very importantly comes in, because there's a certain point where absolutely you need enabling policies at government to do business.
I think there's so much data out there now. Now there's need for us now to bring this data closer, make a good case, and say that this is the potential that this can actually contribute to the national GDP. Those are the numbers that the PSST, Ministry of Finance, is looking for.
The recently released Moonshot 8 report outlines actionable strategies to elevate the status of the creative industry in Uganda and across the African continent. This includes legal and policy reforms, robust financing frameworks, enhanced market access tools, and capacity building at all levels of governance.
There are so many young people operating within this space that have products and innovations that can compete at global levels. We now begin to speak about trade, we speak about AFCFTA, and so this is why part of the report really speaks to the intersectoral readiness, the various sectors that come into play in supporting the creative economy.
Despite the ongoing rhetoric from the government about the value of the creative sector.
You are visible as artists, and I already mentioned this. Don't feel that you're not visible. Your talent is indeed recognized. We treasure you as you continue to take out more works on products of your labor. Your creativity is your capital, your economic capital, and let no one ever diminish your worth.
What do we promise? We promise the following: equitable remuneration. Equitable because sometimes, because you are an asset, so those who have money invest in you, then they can easily enslave you.
However, the reality on the ground tells a different story.
I have a song which plays every day on radio. I'm not earning a penny for it being played on radio. So all this WIPO, YP, what? It's all rhetoric. The artist, even me who could go and bang their doors and get my money, there's nothing. The taxation regime in Uganda is quite prohibitive to any kind of business. We need to do things that support the growth. But when you tax somebody out of business, I don't know what your plan is. And the creative economy especially, when you look to the filmmakers, the amount of money taxed on cameras, on anything that goes onto a camera, is very prohibitive. So we need to look in there. And the biggest problem is it is not uniform. You will see in the news a Chinese company coming here, and they come in tax-free and will get free land. We hope government is going to give the creative economy free land, and we build the hubs that we want to see.
Examples of creative industries include fashion design, music and performing arts, film and television, visual arts and craft, architecture, publishing, among others.
At the global contribution to GDP, it's immense, right? It's in trillions of dollars, but Africa's take on it is so limited. There's a gap, right? We know that globally it is one of the major contributors to GDP. But Africa's play in that space is so limited because of understanding of what is the creative economy.
According to UNCTAD Creative Economy Outlook and other global benchmarks, Africa currently holds only 1.5% of the global creative economy, with just 0.6% of the global royalty collections and a mere 9% of global creative employment. Dennis Igor for UBC.
We used to run, but most of the time we were running away from something. But nowadays, everything seems different. People still run, but they are running towards something. They run to test their limits, to break new records. And when we do it right, we inspire others.
The inaugural Coffee Marathon, uplifting rural coffee women, 24th May at Africa Coffee Park, Ntungamo.
Come, let us run.
To register, dial *217 *413 #. Choose option 4. Or scan the event QR code or visit the website to choose the race options. Brought to you by Inspire Africa Group.
Welcome back, and now into the sports scene. URA and Sports Club Villa shared spoils in a local league encounter, while Barcelona and Inter Milan put up a show in the UEFA Champions League.
FC and Sports Club Villa played out to a 1-1 draw in a league game held at Nachivo Stadium. Laban Tibita had earlier put URA ahead in the first half before Samuel Kato leveled matters later in the second half to save his side from defeat.
Will be going for that sweep, long from Aliro, punched away by Bradley, back in play, Bradley again, Bradley tries, and just it's in! It has been bottled in! Finally into the back of the nets.
Villa returned to an improved side and made several attempts in search for a comeback.
Drawn on it too. Long delivery, good long delivery. Bounces, it's in! The Joko is growing!
Their endless efforts later paid off in the 73rd minute when Semeyange headed in home off a well-taken Hassan Mobile corner to bring the game to level.
Yet again, Molindi. Still Molindi, he's charged up, lays it deep, and away by Matobu Faisal.
And on the international stage, water-mouthing encounters between Barcelona and Inter Milan game lived to their expectations. Barcelona twice came from behind against Inter Milan to snatch a draw in a 6-goal first-leg thriller to leave their Champions League semi-final finally poised. Inter stunned the horse after just 30 seconds when Marcus Thuram turned in Denzo Dumfries low cross with an audacious backheel to score the fastest goal in last 4 games in the competition's history. But the magical, magnificent Lamine Yamal pulled out his box of tricks to transform the game.
So we do come to the end of our first edition, but do join us for our second edition at 10 o'clock. We'll see you at 10.
You are watching the Doc Talk Show.
This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from partners.
The Englishman says, time is money. In medicine we say, time lost is life lost. Welcome to the Doc Talk Show. My name is Dr. Henry Sechanzi, and I'm your host today for the Doc Talk Show. In this program that happens every Thursday at around this time, we bring you real health information. The information that will keep you healthy, safe, and your beloved ones. Today, we're